Hey, back with No Frills Hi-Fi. Today I'm looking at the Fosi Audio ZA3. This is a mono slash stereo amp. They call it a two-channel mono amp. I'll explain what that is in just a minute. But I'll be playing it with the Fosi Audio ZD3, so I may get those terms mixed up between the ZD3 and the ZA3. But I'll be using it with this DAC just to kind of hear what it sounds like. But what I meant by mono slash stereo amp is this can be used either way. It can be used in stereo mode as it's selected right now, or you can switch this to use mono mode. What that means, if you look on the back here, I can use this amp as just a regular stereo amp connected to all my speakers, and I'm fine. I just need this amp. And you've got your, let's see, right and left channels here for your speakers. But if you switch it to mono mode, you can just use the right side. So whether you're using it for the left speaker or right, you just use this one side. So then you have two of these, so each one runs a speaker independently. That way you're still running in stereo, but you're using two mono amps to do that. So it's really cool that they include that with this, that you can use it either way. So if you maybe aren't in the market for that, you just want something simple, you can get this and run it in stereo. Then later you want to upgrade, you want a little bit more power, you get bigger speakers, something like that. You can just buy another one, run it in mono. Or, of course, you can just do it up front. Unfortunately, I only got one of these to test, so I'm not going to be able to run it in mono mode for you. But just wanted to kind of go over how you would connect that. I am connecting it to the ZD3 DAC, as I said, so I'm going to be using XLR, which is a balanced input, meaning it has much better channel separation than RCA, but you can use RCA. There's nothing wrong with that. Anytime I have the opportunity to use XLR, that's what I'm going to use. And you've also got a subwoofer out, RCA there. I'm not going to use that. I don't really use a separate sub in my system. I've got self-powered subs built into my towers, so I'm just going to use those for the time being. And then you do have your trigger right there, which you can connect to this if you wanted to control both of them together. I'm just not going to get into that right now, just because honestly I change my system so frequently that this is the third time I've changed this setup today, so I don't bother with a lot of the extra stuff. But if you are interested, you can connect this through a trigger. It even comes with the cable to do that, and that's going to allow you to control both of them using the remote for the ZD3. This ZA3 does not come with a remote. Before I forget, the ZA3 is $109.99 on their website. If you're running it in stereo mode, it's 180 watts per channel at 4 ohms. If you're running in mono, it's going to be 235, also at 4 ohms. So of course you do get a lot more power if you run it that way. And since I'm going to be using XLR, I'm going to go ahead and switch that to XLR because I'm going to forget. Alright, so let's get this connected. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and start with my RCA or XLR cables. And I've already got everything connected to that. I just need to plug this up. And actually, I don't think my speaker cables are long enough to show everybody what I'm doing, but I think you get the idea. And the last thing that I'm going to plug in here is the power. And I need to tighten up that cable for that light. And in case you're curious, that price that I gave you is the price for the amp with no power supply is $109.99. I'm using the 48 volt power supply, which is another $40. So this setup, as I have it right now, would be $149.99. But you can also get a 32 volt power supply for $20. If you're running some really small speakers, go for it. 32 volt is fine. I gotta be honest, for me, there's no other power supply than the 48. I don't know why you would want to underpower it, but yeah, it's available if that's your thing. You can save $20 by doing that, but I promise you, you're going to feel a lot better about it if you get the 48. So let's see, let's go ahead, let's get this DAC turned on, and it should already be paired. So I'm going to be playing music from Big Pink by the band. And it looks like it's connected. So we'll turn on. You just press and hold. I don't know if you can see if there's a little light right there that'll come on. And there we go. So I've got this set up so that I can control the volume with the DAC, or I can control it with the ZA3. And then I've also, of course, got the remote, so I could use that as well. So these two are made for each other. Fosi did a really good job making it the same form factor, making everything match. They really did design them from the top down to work together, which is super cool. The turning. Yeah, I know. I'm obsessive. I've got to have the dials at the top. But anyway, the the amp sounds really good. It has definitely more than enough power for what I'm doing, and I'm running some pretty big speakers. I've got DefTech. What are they? BP 9040s. They're not huge, but I'm in a pretty big room too. This room that I'm in, it's probably about 20 by 30, something like that. And this is more than enough power for this, even running it in stereo. I've only got the DAC about half volume, and maybe a little bit more. It goes up to 8. So I can just go ahead and crank that up and then control everything here. And I mean, it's definitely got more than enough power. The bass is coming through really tight. The treble is really good. And this track I'm playing right now, Rick Danko's guy singing, his voice is really high. This is a good test for the highs. I think the most impressive really with it is just how balanced it is. I mean, I don't mean balanced in terms of like XLR versus RCA. I just mean it sounds really good. It's not overly bass heavy. It's not overly trebly. Treble's not really rolling off. It's just a good kind of even sound, which I really like. It's not something that's harsh that you're going to get tired of listening to. I think this is something that I could listen to all day long. Probably will once I turn this off. The only thing I notice the more I listen to it, the mids are maybe just a little bit, I hate to use the term overpowered by the bass and the treble because it is a very even sound, but if there was anything that's lacking, I would say the mid is a little bit more subtle than I would like. I actually kind of usually prefer to have the mids a little bit heavier and everything else a little bit down, just because typically if an amp gets something wrong, they get the bass or the treble wrong. So you just kind of want the mids to be a little bit forward. In this, I think the treble and the bass are a little bit more forward than the mid, but not in a bad way. It's a very, very good sound. Details sound really, really well. I'll have to play it with a record at some point too, but kind of going through some transition, changing stuff around. So I really wanted to see how we go with that DAC because, of course, they're made for each other. And I'll be doing a video on the DAC here pretty soon as well, and I'll use it with this. But definitely impressed with it. And don't forget to check out my other videos when I do the DAC, and of course my unboxing of the ZA3. And appreciate it. We'll catch you later.